everybody, welcome back to Candy's Classic Game Shrine. Sorry it's been a while since my last video. I've been sick with the flu, still coughing up a little bit, and feel it's time. It's only going to be a top 5 video today. It's going to be my top 5 favorite retro consoles in my shrine, and I would love to see your own video responses to this list. Include your own favorites if I haven't mentioned them in my own list, and let's see and compare. So let's get to it. System number 1 is going to be a system I grew up with my entire life. It was pretty much my first video game console ever, and I'm sure many of you can already guess what it is. It's my little Nintendo, well, it's not a Nintoaster, but it's my toaster styled NES. This is my original one from when I was a kid back in the 80s. It still works. I've replaced the pin connector on it once, but it's gotten me through so many good times, many years, and I still play it today. Along with my NES one, or NES TV that's back there, I still play it a lot. One thing I loved about this was the library of games. Even when the SNES came out, I was still playing this hardcore. Mostly because my parents didn't want to buy me any new games for this SNES, because they figured, oh, you have so many for the old Nintendo, why do you need a new bunch of games? So, you know, every 90s kid grew up with these problems. I'm sure many of the kids today too. But I loved the fact that the NES helped save the video game industry. It was very innovative for its time. The D-pad has become a staple in video gaming everywhere. Granted, many video game companies can't copy the exact design because Nintendo's patented it, but let's be real, we would not be as happy if we were stuck playing with Atari joysticks instead of D-pads. But enough said with that. Now, my second system that's my favorite in my collection, it's not as retro as, say, the NES or some of my handhelds, but it finally graduated into retro status, and I'm talking about the PlayStation 2. This one's the Slim. This one I recently bought, actually. I have an original PS2, but I'm lending it to my sister right now, and that one still works too really well. But the main reason I chose this over the first PlayStation is simply just because of the added library you get because of the backwards compatibility with the PS1 and the PS2, and having the PS2 games on top of it with the better graphics and, you know, more use of the analog sticks, because when the PS1 came out, the DualShock wasn't always used in the beginning, and it was very difficult with the D-pad that the Sony controllers had to actually play, you know, platformers and stuff. So when the dual analogs came out, it made things a lot better, and obviously the PS2 follows suit shortly after. This was my second favorite of all the consoles I've ever owned. I loved the library for it. I have a huge one. Only some of it is right here, and I mean a very, very small portion of it. Since my sister has my other PS2, I let her keep most of the games, since this one is hacked and I can kind of download and burn games if I wanted to play them. Now, the next system is a handheld, and it was never released in the US. It was a system that I only recently found out about, maybe within the last 6 years, and my goodness, I wish I knew about it when I was a child. It would have made long road trips so much better. I'm talking about the Nintendo Gameboy Light. Now, the Gameboy Light is a backlit version of, say, the Game Boy Pocket. It's about the same size, same design and everything, with the exception of the battery cover in the back and the fact that this takes 2 AA's rather than 2 AA's like the Pocket. With the Game Boy Light, you get the option to play regular without your light. Ding! Or hit the switch one step more and you get your backlit screen, which it's blue in tint, so it can be kind of shitty sometimes to see, but like in bright light. But if you're playing in the dark, you're good to go. And it makes my gaming so much easier. I know I can play the old Game Boy games on the Game Boy Advance and the Game Boy Advance SP, but it fits perfectly, and it's meant to be, all those games are meant to be played on the Game Boy. So I feel it's better to just play them on a system that I can actually see the back of the screen with. So that's why I chose the Game Boy Light over, say, the SP model, or hell, even the Game Boy Color. I like the battery life on it too. I think it lasts about the same time as the Game Boy Color, and since I use rechargeable batteries, it's really easy. I always have stuff to keep it going. Now, system number 4 is also another handheld. However, this one is not Nintendo. You're going to see yet another Sony console on my list. And I'm talking about, oops, accidentally turned it on, I was playing it earlier, my Sony PSP. This is the original one that came out, and it's been my original since day one. This thing has gotten me through hell and back. It got me through college, got me through dorming, got me through long car rides, and having to live in PA for 4 miserable fucking years. Oh, my battery died. But I loved it because you can put music on this, you can put pictures on this, you can put movies on this, and games. At the time, there wasn't anything else like this. There was no well, actually no, there may have been iPhones, but they were the very, very first ones. And without this, I don't think I'd be as sane as I am today. Not that that's saying much, but I would have been even more fucked in the head. I have it hacked so that you can play both PS1 and well, no, not PS2, but PSP games on it, and it made it even better. Now you have double the library on it, and there's just not enough battery hours for me to play it all. Now, the last console is certainly not my least favorite, by any means. Matter of fact, I'd say it's probably one of my top favorites ever. And as soon as you see it, you're gonna think, holy shit, she really is fucked in the head. How long did she live in PA for? No, I'm joking. But, yeah, I'm talking about a fairly controversial system. One that not too many people know. And if they do, they only know about it because it supposedly gives everybody headaches and makes them blind and is terrible. And I'm talking about the Nintendo Virtual Boy. Yes, this monstrous bastard is one of my favorite consoles. And you want to know why? Because it's underrated and overlooked. There are so many games out for this, granted not official releases, but homebrews that'll keep you busy forever. And the gimmick of the 3D at the time was really fun. And despite my eyes being terrible, I don't get headaches when I play it. I've played Wario Land for 3 hours straight. Not a problem. It all depends on how you're sitting, how you're looking into it, and just how terrible your eyes are. But, you know, there's a dude on YouTube, Vectrix Rolly, who goes over everything about the Virtual Boy more in depth, so you don't kill yourself trying to play it. I'll link him in the description. But one of the reasons why I love the Virtual Boy, it was back when Nintendo took decent chances. Now you're saying, this isn't a decent chance. Nintendo failed miserably with this. Yes, they did, but it opened up the community to develop really good games for this. And it made me see what the indie world is capable of. And it's a one-of-a-kind piece. It's like a tribute to the Oculus. And yes, I do have an Oculus now. Matter of fact, my camera's standing on the box to it right now. But, aside from the console and the games that I enjoy on it, which Wario Land is the best game on it, hands down, and that alone is reason enough to pick up a Virtual Boy and play it, because you're not going to play it anywhere else, unless you're lucky enough to find an emulator, which, in that case, it's okay, but never as good as using this. It's such a comfortable controller to hold. I know it's awkward to look at, but if you think about it, it's taken on the shape very similar to the GameCube controller, which I actually have right here. So, it's very comfortable to hold. I actually find it way more comfortable than this piece of shit. But, again, that's my top 5. just my personal ones. I know you guys are going to have your own, so feel free to share your favorites with me. So, till next time, guys, take care.